SVT podcast. I am Vince. We got Tyler here today. Sam is feeling a little under the weather, but we're still riding strong. How's it going, Tyler?
Good. How are you doing, man?
I'm shiny. And Tim on the ones and twos as per usual. How's it going, bud?
It's going good. Sam, get in here. I don't care how much you had to drink. We're all here. We're all hungover. Get in here
No,
now.
we're not.
No,
all
we're
hungover.
not.
No,
No one's
we're-
hungover.
Oh.
Maybe the
Very
ones and twos are.
I'm the only one?
Yeah,
Oh.
sorry, bud. All right. So we do got a lot to go over. There, free agency in the NFL is always a wild time, especially those first couple of weeks. So we'll talk about a lot of major signings happening, a couple retirements too. Things happening. The Warriors get Steph Curry back. We'll talk about that. Brand new soccer team gets the win right out the gate. We'll talk a little bit more about that too. The Sharks lose all their games, but first let's circle back and get started with NFL free agent frenzy. So as soon as we log off, basically, Cincinnati announced they were going to cut Joe Mixon, and then they decide, no, you know what, we're going to actually trade him instead to Houston, and then they replace him with Zach Moss. So downgrade there.
I mean, he had a good season. Zach Moss started
Yeah,
off,
no, he
and then he
performed
lost his job again.
he performed admirably as the backup replacement for when Jonathan Taylor was out. There's no question about that. But Joe Mixon, I think even if he is losing it, he's still better than Zach Moss ever was at his best.
I would also argue that Cincinnati, their offense obviously doesn't run around a running back. So to cut the cost there and get a running back that really isn't a featured piece of their offense, I think that was a good move by Cincinnati.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just a lost season in general because Joe Burrow went down. So it is definitely a cost-saving move. So yeah, there we are. Good luck with that. They'll rue that day. Quarterback Tyrod Taylor, the Ty God, going to the Jets. He didn't go back to the Jets. He's Jets for the first time, but he's played in a lot of other places. So forgive my confusion. Sam Darnold, former Niners backup quarterback, he's going to Minnesota to try to be the guy on a 1-year contract on a prove it deal.
I know this is down at the bottom of your list here. I assume it's down at the bottom of your list, but you might as well just say the quarterback in Minnesota. Where did he end up?
Oh, Josh Dobbs. He had a what do they call it? The
carousel of quarterbacking jobs.
No. Like he was really hot for like a minute.
Yeah.
A
flash in the pan.
No. Specific player. On the Knicks. He was a former Warrior too.
Oh, you're talking about Jeremy Lin.
Yeah, his the insanity moment. That's what it is. He had a insanity moment. But yeah, just so Josh Dobbs is going to try to be the backup quarterback for the Niners. He'll be fighting with Brandon Allen over that, I believe.
How crazy. He started in I want to say he started in Tennessee or something like that last year, and then he got traded to Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona to start, and then he became the starter immediately. Then they shipped his ass off to Minnesota. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Just really weird story arc last season for Josh Dobbs. But he's a guy I think he might be better when he's off script, when he doesn't know what he's doing because nobody else knows what they're doing either, and he just makes shit up. And yeah,
hey man,
we'll see how it goes. Aaron Jones was a running back for the Green Bay Packers. Now goes to the enemy, Minnesota. All right.
Let's see if that hamstring can last.
Yeah. Is he washed or not? That's what a lot of the questions are for a lot of these players for this week.
Yep.
Mike Gesicki, tight end, goes to Cincinnati. Try to bolster them up a little bit as a fifth wide receiver option, I think. Running back Nyheim Hines to Cleveland. That's a backup role there. Just little extra, whatever. Jameis Winston, he's gonna be the backup in Cleveland for at least next year. $8.7 million to do it. Not bad.
Hey, not bad.
Marcus Mariota going to Washington. We'll see what they do in the draft because they just traded Sam Howell to Seattle to be the backup for Geno Smith. So,
which is weird in its own right, just to say that he is the starting quarterback. He was supposed to be a starting quarterback, Geno Smith, and then his career has gone in totally different directions.
Right, yeah, and but then he won the job in
Yeah.
Seattle and played admirably
Yeah.
that first year, but then last year in his second year there, it just kind of fell apart a little bit.
Yep.
Derrick Henry, here's a big one to Baltimore on a 2-year contract,
That's
16 million.
huge. That's a
That's
huge pickup for them.
that's going to be uh, that's going to be a running machine, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And they got that kid that tore his ACL or something like that, or I forget his name, but they have another running back that's a freak of nature. If he can come back halfway through the season and
yeah,
you just have that as your 1-2.
Change of pace or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, real thunder and lightning here.
Yep.
Irv Smith, tight end, is going to Kansas City to be the third string tight end because they have Gray and they still have Kelsey. I mean,
Yep.
Whatever. Irv Smith still hanging around at least a little bit. Darnell Mooney going to Atlanta, wide receiver. He's going to be helping out Kirk Cousins down there. I'm sure he'll have a couple of fantasy valuable weeks and then just really piss everybody off.
Yep.
Drew Lock, quarterback, going to the Giants. He might end up being the starter because Danny Dimes is garbage.
I think, look, I agree that he will probably become the starter, but the amount of money you're paying Daniel Jones, you have to give him another crack. Even how outrageous it sounds, you have to.
I agree on that principle. Like you got to make absolutely sure to just get every ounce of meat off of that bone.
Yeah.
And you were handed one tiny little chicken wing with Daniel Jones, so take it clean, bud, and then move on to another quarterback who is irresponsible as fuck. Gerald Everett going to Chicago, so more tight end help there. Cool. Las Vegas cut Jimmy Garoppolo. He signs with the Rams. He's going to miss those first couple of games, but Matt Stafford is the starting quarterback there, so he's going to be the backup.
Do you think? Okay, and I know Sam's not here to comment on it. Do you think that there's a conspiracy theory running that the Raiders planted some kind of drug on Jimmy G so they didn't have to pay him because they knew they were going to cut him?
I do not believe that conspiracy theory.
It was a little weird that they
but it's fun.
Suspended him and then an hour later like, oh, we can cut him.
Yeah. I'm sure, conspiracy theories are always fun up until a point,
Yeah.
When it hits that anti-Semitic bridge or whatever.
Yes.
So, they're fun to a point, but when it gets to that point, it's like, okay, let's back up a little bit. Not good. There's enough bad shit in the world happening. We don't need to add to that part of it. But
yes.
conspiracy. I wouldn't say conspiracy on that one. I don't believe that. I'm not on board. Long story short. Okay, here's one for your guys. Devontae Parker, wide receiver, going to be a backup wide receiver in Philly. What do you think about that?
I love it. You know why? Because if Devontae can stay healthy, I know he had a couple concussions in New England last year. As long as he can stay healthy, him and Smith, hell, even AJ Brown, they can all switch in the slot position, and I think there's just a lot of moving pieces that you can do with that, and I think he's a great wide receiver 3 for this team.
Oh yeah, Devontae Parker, he actually finally. It took 5 years, but in his last year in Miami, he actually finally exploded and showed up, and and so he does have the ability in there. So if he's your 3, and he just shows up every now and then and just really just goes off, that's going to be really beneficial to Philly.
The running gag in the Philly chats is that we need to complete the trifecta and go get Devontae Adams. So you have Devontae Smith, Devontae Parker, and Devontae Adams.
Right, yeah. It's Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
All right. So the Niners shoring up the defensive line after Eric Armstead left. Jordan Elliott, defensive tackle, is coming to the Niners on a 2-year deal. It's defensive depth. I like it. You can never have too many of those guys.
I agree.
Yeah.
But your boys need to really fill out that O-line depth.
Yeah. I think O-line is a bigger problem, but
yeah,
you lose Eric Armstead, you got to replace him. So
yeah.
Pittsburgh traded wide receiver Deontay Johnson to Carolina.
I think this was a performance trade because he kind of gave up halfway through the season last year. He had those videos of him not blocking and he's just literally sidestepping like he's olaying a bull.
Yeah.
I
So,
think it was a of a performance issue.
right. An attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Hunter Renfro, Raiders are cutting him. That's,
He's
not
gonna cost too much, but I kind of wanted the Eagles to try and see if they can swing and get him, but he's gonna cost too much. I think he's gonna make either the Patriots very happy, or maybe Miami. One of those two.
yeah. Okay, so back to the Niners. They Malik Collins gets traded from Houston to the Niners, and the Niners also restructured contracts with Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle, and Javon Hargrave. So the Niners made a few moves there, helped save a lot of money, and they're gonna try to maximize this window with Brock still on the rookie contract.
What's this that the 49ers didn't do the commas on their
Oh
reporting
yeah,
sheets?
it was there was an accounting error, and this actually broke just a couple hours ago before we started recording on Monday afternoon, and so they're losing a 5th round pick in 2025, and their 4th round pick this
four
year
picks down, I think,
is
right?
is being bumped down to the like 4 spots. And there was no like they didn't find that they were trying to like skirt the salary cap or anything. It was just like a mistake, but you still have to punish the mistake, and so fine,
Yep.
whatever.
Somebody's getting a new accountant, or the accountant's getting a new assistant.
Losing a 5th rounder next season, fine, whatever. I don't
Sure.
It is a lottery at that point anyway. George Kittle was a 5th rounder, but there are plenty other 5th rounders that bust. So, whatever. Let's see. The Chargers, yeah, they're cutting Mike Williams, wide receiver. So that's a talented but injured player that somebody else can pick up and be equally excited and frustrated.
Mention the other Chargers one. It's a 3 down or 3 or 4 down here.
Okay.
Mention the other one.
And then they traded Keenan Allen to Chicago for a 4th round pick.
I'm very curious about what Harbaugh's doing. I mean, I know he's cleaning house.
This is money. This is pure money issue. That's what it is. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams were making way too much of it, and they need to get under the cap because they got to pay their quarterback, and they're deciding to not they're deciding to keep the defense intact as much as possible, and they're hoping that Justin Herbert can overcome the wide receiver. And I mean, I think
at
he's
least
good.
give him one talent.
He's good, but they need somebody else, so they're probably going to pick somebody up in the draft.
Yeah, it's going to have to be drafted. But they're obviously going to have to restructure Herbert's contract if they want to try and bring in more talent offensively. I see that happening within the next year or two. They have to. So interesting. Edmonds Harbaugh's team. He's going to break it down Michigan style and build it back up. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's right. Calvin Ridley, wide receiver, is going to Tennessee. 4-year, $92 million. I mean,
hey, he got his money. He got his money.
That's great, but they could have
way
had
overpaid.
AJ Brown. They drafted AJ Brown. They could have paid him that money.
AJ Brown would have cost them
better.
AJ Brown would have cost them $90 million.
Yeah, 90 for 4.
And they paid $2 million over, but
yeah, and Calvin Ridley's like 4 years older than AJ Brown too. So like real just top notch.
You know what I say to that? You know what I say to that, Vince? I go, thank you, Howie Roseman.
Fucking idiots, man. All right. Tennessee also signed Mason Rudolph to be the backup quarterback.
Does Tennessee are they playing
they're going with bananas. Yeah, they're going with banners.
Yeah.
Will Levis.
Mayonnaise Levis.
Joe Flacco's going to be the backup in Indianapolis. That's a good move. He's
like that.
Anthony Richardson is he's a running quarterback, and he got injured like on like a running play or whatever. And if he doesn't learn how to pass, he's gonna end up injured again. So Flacco's gonna get an opportunity, I think, at some point to play next year.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
We'll see if that comeback player of the year magic can happen again.
Yep.
All right. Oh, here's that Sam Howell note. Traded from Washington to Seattle because they gave up on him. rightfully so, I think.
Yeah.
um,
I mean, he still beat the Eagles.
yeah. Curtis Samuel is going to Buffalo. He's going to replace Gabe Davis. I think that's Curtis Samuel's a little bit more consistent, but he doesn't have the ceiling that Gabe Davis does.
Yeah, I'd say it's
Gabe Davis is very much peaks and valleys. Like that is,
yeah.
If you have him on your fantasy team, that is frustrating because you can never pick when that 40-point game is going to happen, and it's only going to happen twice.
Shoot.
But when it does, that is magic.
Diggs gave up. Well, he didn't give up me, but fantasy wise, he gave up me towards the end there too. So that whole Buffalo offense.
I survived having Diggs on my roster. I got a chip with him scoring only 5 points in my starting lineup. Because you can't bench him as much as you have to. You can't bench him because he could
go off.
Diggs. Anyway,
yeah.
This isn't a fantasy football podcast, but moving on. So, like
Unless you guys
earlier,
want to listen to that.
I mean, yeah, let us know in the comments. Email us svtsportspod@gmail.
There's a shout out.
There we go. Like I said earlier, the Niners let Eric Armstead walk. He goes walking all the way to Jacksonville. Good for him. Get your bag. He's worth it. He's great dude. I'm gonna miss him. Atlanta trades Desmond Ridder to Arizona for Rondale Moore. Those are two guys getting fresh starts.
I just found out Rondale Moore, like when this happened. Did you know he's like 5'7"?
No, I didn't know that. I knew he was shorter. I didn't know the exact height.
I didn't know that at all. I was like, damn, he's a wide receiver in the NFL and he's 5'7".
Good for him.
Yeah, man.
I remember Napoleon Kaufman was like 5'5" or something like that. 5'8", really. But like, that's every now and then short kings make it in the NFL.
I mean, fuck Altuve, but he made it.
Yeah. Well, that's also baseball, different sport.
But right, but 5'6", 5'5".
Yeah, David Eckstein. Yeah,
there you go.
That was a dude for a while. Okay, linebacker Bobby Wagner going to Washington. Get that money.
That's their best move, honestly. Washington's been doing some dog shit moves. Yeah. That's their best move. He's like, what's Bobby Wagner? 33, 34, somewhere around there. So
yeah, I mean he's past his prime, but at least he's a great voice in the locker room for them to help guide the new people along and try to establish a culture and whatever other bullshit saying you want to throw in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Niners had agreed to terms with linebacker Eric Hendricks, and then Eric Hendricks changes his mind and he wants to be a loser and go to Dallas. You know what? That's fine. Have at it, buddy. Enjoy losing in the playoffs. Enjoy losing in the first round to the Niners because it's gonna happen again, or to the Eagles. Coming up. It's gonna happen. I don't know who, but Dallas is never gonna do shit. And I'm 30 for 30 on that so far.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Have fun, bud. Good luck. So Danielle Hunter, that was a big name that we were waiting on last episode. It finally happened. He goes to Houston. 2 years, $49 million. Yeah, that's huge.
Dude, Houston is like they're stacked.
They are ramping up. The time is now for Houston. If that could be real fun to see, when it comes time for predictions in early September. That's a team that's going to be on everybody's mind.
I would say, I mean, the Eagles coaching tree from last year or 2 years ago. Now it's 2 years. It's going to be 2 years ago. And the 49ers coaching tree from like 2 years ago. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that, your the head coach for Houston and the head coach for Indy, I mean, just amazing. Yeah. Both of them. Amazing. With what they've been dealt with. You know what I mean? It's great.
Yeah.
Love it. I love to see it.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Patrick Queen, linebacker, goes from Baltimore to Pittsburgh. That's another rivalry move.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a 3-year deal he signed with Pittsburgh too. Wow. There's going to be a lot of vitriol when he comes back to town, I think, on that one. And then here we go. We were waiting for KC to sign anybody to help the wide receiver room out. They get Marquise Hollywood Brown. So you heard, I don't know if people listening haven't heard this, but Saquon Barkley, when he signed with the Eagles, Tiki Barber came out and said that congratulations, you're dead to me, but good luck, but you're dead to me, right? so when Hollywood Brown gets signed by Kansas City,
their Arizona's quarterback, Mama John, like Kyler Murray, right?
Kyler Murray, yeah.
He tweets out to Holly Brown. He goes, "Congratulations, you're dead to me." So Tiki Barber is also a very salty New York fan at this point. So a lot of people are giving him flack for saying what he said to Saquon. So, anyways, hit me with this bombshell.
Yeah,
I have something for this.
Yeah, you have a backup quarterback now, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah,
Small hands Pickett going to Philly. With a pick swap as well thrown in just to make it interesting.
So
go ahead.
Obviously, I wasn't a fan of this, and I'm not going to be shy about that. I thought we did the wrong thing because we traded a third for this, and I was like, "Why are we trading a third for this? Go trade for Fields, who it's next tier." Chicago trades Fields to Pittsburgh. I think they traded a 6 and like a pack of crackers and some Band-Aids, right?
Yeah.
Which I was like, that made me more upset, right? I was like, why didn't we just trade a fucking 5th to go get Fields, right? If that's what they were given. So I read into it more. It makes sense. Okay. Let's say Pickett decides to leave and go play for somewhere else. Then the Eagles get a 3rd round pick back, a compensatory
pick. Yeah.
So we get a compensatory 3rd round pick back. Great. Awesome. Also, he's under control for 2 years where Fields will be under control for 1 year. So, okay, cool. You get a backup quarterback, and Fields is a starter, right? Like Fields probably should go start. I think he should sit behind someone. So
he's going to be sitting behind Russ,
right?
At least
exactly.
At first, until Russ is mid for like 5 games in a row.
Exactly.
And then everybody's going to be shouting for Justin Fields.
Exactly. And I would say that Fields, Hurts was literally hurt for 2 games, right? Had the knee issue, played through it. So I think his toughness level to be able to play through injuries, his likelihood of playing Fields was probably less than it would be if he were to play behind Russell Wilson, who's an aging quarterback, right? And I just think the money wise, it makes more sense for what the Eagles did. So it makes sense. I'm 90% sold on the pick now, or the trade now, than I was like last week, but it's still Kenny Pickett, boys. It's Kenny Pickett.
Right, yeah.
And he's an Eagles fan, and he grew up in Philadelphia, so.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure. Nothing like your family to boo you,
Exactly.
All right. So Chase Young is going to New Orleans. That's fine. He didn't really perform all that well for the Niners when we traded for him. Those expectations kind of fell flat. Good luck. And then Alexander Mattison to the Vegas Raiders. He was cut by the Vikings. Yeah.
I just think, I know the Raiders gave money to positions that, needed as well, but losing Josh Jacobs, they're going to see the impact of that this year. I promise you they will.
All right. And the last note I want to talk about is Aaron Donald is retiring after 10 years, a true GOAT. And he gave the Niners hell for 10 years.
I'm glad he was your problem and not mine.
I am not going to miss him at all. Hell of a career. Enjoy retirement. And actually, I saw this. Matt Stafford's wife, like tweeted a congratulations or whatever.
Yeah,
she's like, maybe I can convince Matt to join you.
Yeah.
I think Matt Stafford's definitely closer to retirement than not. He's got maybe 2 years left. I think. Probably.
I think so. I think so.
Definitely this coming season, maybe one more after. So it's getting near the end, I think, and so that makes the Jimmy Garoppolo thing a little bit more interesting too. Maybe if Sean McVay likes what he sees out of Jimmy, maybe Jimmy's the guy for Sean McVay after Matt Stafford leaves.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not with Jimmy G, but
the bridge quarterback,
Yeah, of course.
He's the bridge quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to be like playing quarterback for the next 8 years for the Rams or something, but like maybe they give him a 3-year deal or something after this.
You want to know something funny? I was going down this rabbit hole, and I want to say something about Aaron Donald too, but I was going down this rabbit hole of bridge quarterbacks, and the bridge quarterback between Michael Vick and Carson Wentz for the Eagles was Sam Bradford.
It was.
And I was like, Wow, I forgot he was on that team.
Yeah, yeah.
So you mentioning Matt Stafford made me think about it because they were relatively around each other's draft times, relatively. So, um, also too, Aaron Donald, he popped a champagne video of him celebrating his retirement.
Oh yeah.
Okay, everyone's saying congratulations, big dog, and all this. Right. Watch that video. He opens a bottle of champagne with his, two fingers on the cork.
Mhm.
He moves the cork like he's taking a toothpick out of a container. Like most
Yeah.
people, when you open a cork, it's like a pop, right? It
Mhm.
pops in your hand. No, he just like
Was
that's.
it- yeah.
Oh, it was no noise, just him
It
like
might have
taking a
been opened
tissue.
already. I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
No, I know.
think
He opened it, like twisted it.
shit.
It was like him taking like a tissue out of a box. It was so effortless. I was like, dude, this guy, he's so insane.
That feels like
But
it's against science. I don't know, man.
it's insane. Like
Oh,
it's the video you sent, actually, I think. I think you sent that video for the very end, the last portion
I didn't.
portion of it.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, if
Then
you go to the
clearly,
very
I don't know.
last slide, he opens up this wine bottle like he's just nothing.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I mean,
effortless.
it was like like 10 page, like a 10, image or video Instagram story, right, or something
It
like
was
that.
crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah.
But congratulations, Aaron Donald. Hell of a career.
Yeah.
So glad I don't have to deal with you.
As my dad said, enjoy retirement, Mr. Donald, sir.
Yeah.
Very respectful. As always.
Yep.
Yes, yeah. Put some respect on his motherfucking name.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I guess
Speaking of putting some respect on his motherfucking name,
yeah. Steph Curry's back.
thank God. Okay, did you?
Only 4 games. Only
you-
4 games.
I know. If you didn't watch the Lakers game, that's fair, right? But if you did watch it, holy crap. I decided today, right before the show, just to rewatch the last like minute and a half of that game.
Yeah, talk about this.
It took them almost 30 minutes to complete a minute and a half because there was a review of a turnover, a review of another turnover. Then the shot clock didn't work 5 times. They inbounded the ball 5 times. And then finally they said, you know what? We're just going to have the Lakers announcer announce the shot clock for us.
Jesus.
Like, and it was a nationally televised ESPN game.
Oh, what a shit show. Yeah.
And it wasn't like a blowout. Like the Lakers were
No.
only down by like 6 points.
Yeah, the Warriors end up getting that win on Saturday night by 7.
Mm-hmm.
So that's they went 2-1 over the last week, by the way. They get the win at San Antonio, they lose at Dallas, and then they win at the Lakers home. So
Yeah.
they're currently 9th. They're sitting in 9th. They hold they're both the Lakers and the Warriors, they're both 11 and a half games back. Yeah. 11 and a half games back of the number 1 seed, so they're not really catching the 1 seed, but the Warriors have 2 games in hand, so they have 1 less win, but also 1 less loss, which puts them percentage points, a couple percentage points ahead of the Lakers. So, the Warriors have 2 games in hand, so that's great, and they'll if they can win both of those games, that puts it, a little more distance. The way the Western Conference is breaking out right now, it's actually really interesting. You have the Thunder, the Nuggets, and the Timberwolves. They're all like within a game of each other of the top seed. And then you look at 4 and 5, they're, a game apart. That's the Clippers and Pelicans. And then 6, 7, 8, the Kings, Mavericks, and Suns, they are all like statistically tied. The Kings have 2 games in hand. It's the same thing, 1 less win, 1 less loss.
Yep.
But they're all 8.5 back, so they're statistically tied.
I think
the Warriors and Lakers are statistically tied at 11.5 back.
I think the top 3, I still think that Minnesota's going to fall off there, probably end up being a 3 seed. Losing Karl Anthony Towns to that ACL tear, like that's tough. Yeah. I don't think you're going to come back from that. I don't think Rudy Gobert is the guy to take you over the top on that. OKC, man, like I gave him an appraisal, maybe about a month ago about being a top dog, and man,
they're really
just goes to show
right
you.
now.
It goes to show you when you have 999 picks for the next like 7 years.
But a bust ain't one.
Exactly. But currently, the Warriors have home seed advantage to the 10th seed, so we'll take that.
Yeah, but also,
but you gotta play two
feel,
games.
They feel comfortable playing down in LA too. I mean,
I agree, but the reason why I want them to be at least an 8 or at 7 is because you only have to play one game.
Yeah, winning you're in.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have if you're in the 9 or 10 spot, you have to win 2 games to get in, and that's tough as hell. Also, the Rockets have ripped off 5 in a row and 7 of their last 10. So, they're 3.5 games out of a playoff spot right now. They're the only one within shouting distance. I think they probably fall back to earth a little bit, but get it, Rockets.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
But they're at least making it interesting, So
well, we need them to lose more because I think that the Warriors have a best pick option with Houston, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
I think it's like Houston or New Orleans, whoever is the best option between the two of those. And obviously it's not going to be New Orleans because they're way up the seedings. So I think Houston needs to chill out.
Okay, so upcoming games this week, Monday tonight. That game tips off a little bit later tonight against the Knicks. The Wednesday at home against Memphis. Friday at home against Indiana. We almost did the football one. And then Sunday at Minnesota. So without Cat there, so there's an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean they're playing at least 2, if you want to call it 3 injury riddled teams. Although Minnesota, I wouldn't call them injury riddled, just more or less big star injury riddled.
Yeah.
Because the Knicks have like 3 players out. Memphis literally got the whole team out. They're pulling kids from like college to come play for their team right now.
Yeah.
Indiana, I think since Halliburton's come back from his injury, his numbers have been down a little bit production wise, but
yeah, they're 5-5 in their last 10. I'm looking at it right now. Indiana.
Yeah. So it's a winnable week. You got the chef back, so I would argue that they kept games close without Curry there. So with Curry there, it's got to be better motivation that we can get these wins. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I need 2-2 bare minimum out of this week.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'd obviously prefer 4-0, but you got to get me two out of these next 4.
Yeah, let's give a homestand because our homestand hasn't been great. Let's get a homestand here, and if you lose to Minnesota 3-1, I'll take that in the week. I'll take that.
Worst things have happened.
Yeah. I did a quick little note here. We won't touch over it a bit much, but whoever's listening, fill out your brackets. You can fill them up to the teams that have to the 8 teams have to figure out their seeding points, but you can fill out the rest of it for the time being until about Wednesday.
The games tip off Thursday morning at like 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Right,
the first games. I think
so the seeding, the last 8 games to figure out their 16 and 10 seeds is tomorrow, and it goes into Wednesday morning.
Tomorrow and Wednesday. There's 2 games.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you can only get like less than 24 hours to fill out after Wednesday, but fill out what you can now. And then, if you're like me, I don't really care who's going to win because whoever's playing Purdue is going to lose to Purdue.
Right, exactly. That one you can skip, right? I'm going to skip the 116 on that one.
So.
Alrighty. So that brings us to the end of basketball talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's swing over to soccer. Wrexham, let's start with our boys across the pond.
You know what? Ladies first.
Oh, okay, fine.
Ladies first.
We'll do that. It's official. The Bay Area has a women's soccer team in the NWSL. That is Bay FC. They have an official game played, and they get the W down in LA against Angel City FC. That's one of the fun things that NWSL does is for the New York team and the LA team, they have a fun name instead of just New York or Los Angeles. Gotham FC.
Oh, that's pretty badass.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. They actually won the chip. They won the chip last year. They were like the 6th seed, and then they just made a run, and there was a whole story that happened along with that. If you're into women's soccer drama, go check it out yourself. But somebody got cheated on, and then somebody who was retiring ended up. Ali Krieger.
Okay.
Look about the Ali Krieger story if you want to dive into it more. But back to this game, they beat Angel City FC 1-0. Oshuala in her NWSL debut gets the goal in the 16th minute, and that was all that was needed. Although there was some spectacular saves,
Nice.
and
Nice.
the defense bent but did not break, and that was, it looks like they built the team right. They got a superstar striker, red leather, yellow leather, and then they really built up the back line, and they were able to get a win. It's a good measuring stick. Angel City was the 5 seed in the playoffs last year, so they're a good team, but not a great team. And they were able to, you know, they controlled the ball a lot. It was like 58% Angel City, so they were able to hold strong, really hold that line, and a couple of miracle saves as well, and even defenders getting in the way of a couple of shots as well. It was full on attack mode for the last half hour, and Bay FC, excuse me, really held their own. So,
Yeah, I would just say it's their first game.
mhm.
Congratulations, ladies, on your first win. But let's not play behind the whole time, huh? Because
Well,
that's
yeah.
energy spent that I don't want to spend.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, the defense held strong. They get a clean sheet. Their next game is Saturday at 4:30 at Washington. That's the Washington Spirit, for those of you that don't know. And it's
Nice.
going to be so as far as obviously the season just started. Playoffs aren't till like October, November, but the top 6 in the league make the playoffs. There's 14 total teams. And right now, after that win, they are sitting in 4th after goal differential.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so there you go.
Nice. Nice.
There's that. Yeah, I'm really excited to keep watching, and this is a great opportunity. And the games are like they're televised on, like, they have a free streaming app where you can watch all the games, but also NBC Sports Bay Area showed this last game, and I think they're going to keep showing a lot of the games locally as well. So
Nice.
um I will say that the sound quality, it sounded like I was listening to the AM radio broadcast, so they need to work on the sound quality at least for this last game. But yeah, so there's a couple of pain points to work through on the technology side, but I'm really thrilled with how the team performed in their first ever game.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd say that's better than what Wrexham has right now, because right now watching a game with their IPL system that they have for theirs is really rough, given the fact that their games are also starting at like 6 to 5 a.m. on Saturday mornings. But our boys got a point. It wasn't a great week. They got a decision here with Harrogate Town. They went 0-0. They took the L on Saturday against Tranmere 0-1. They're currently 19-10-9 in third place. And they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games left.
Yeah.
9. Okay. So there's 24 points to be had. They're sitting in third. They're a point behind second. And I want to say, when I looked at the standings last, yeah. So Mansfield Town has 72. Unless by some miracle happens, I mean, obviously things could change, but I think Mansfield Town's going to hold on. Uh, I just, they're just a solid team all the way around. But just be top 3. No issues
Top
with
3
that.
is
So,
automatic.
yep.
So
So they're currently tied with 4th with MK Don. So 24 points to be had. Let's make the most of these last 9 games. A points, yeah, it helps, but let's get some 3s on the boards. So upcoming, they play Saturday against Grimsby Town, and Grimsby Town is 4th to last place in the EFL2. So there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to get that win done. I don't know of any injuries. Ollie Palmer seems to be a little past his prime now at this point. I think he's playing at the level of competition for him. So Paul Mullen, we're going to need you to step up and step up big. So let's get it done, boys. 9 games.
all right. All right, and so then that brings us to the earthquakes. These
Wait.
What?
Do you know what time it is?
It's fuck John Fisher o'clock.
Let's go, baby.
Always. So they take the L like I expected they would against Sporting KC 2-1. They have not won a game yet in 4 tries. They're currently dead last in the West. That's 14th for those of you who are keeping track at home. So upcoming is Saturday versus Seattle Sounders.
That's gonna
Probably
be
another
That's
L.
gonna be an L.
Probably another L. I mean, ugh. Schedule's looking rough.
What has changed from
Although
6 months ago to now?
I don't know, man. I think they were just overperforming maybe a little bit. They didn't really make any moves to get better either. You know, they lose. They did send Cade Cowell to the Mexico League, and so that's
He is kind of killing the MX League though.
Yeah, I don't.
He's doing good.
Yeah. So I mean, having him around would have helped, but that's not part of the plan. The plan is to suck.
Yeah, because they need a new stadium.
Right. They need a new one, even though they just built one 9 years ago. Yeah. And of course, in the comments, my dad, FJF, thank you very much. As always, fuck John Fisher.
Always.
So like I said, they're playing Seattle Sounders. I just looked at the standings actually. Seattle is off to a not that great start. They have 1 loss and 2 draws to start the season so far, but that's still 2 points more than the Quakes have. So if you get the win, you leapfrog the Sounders, and right now they are. I take that back. The New England Revolution also does not have a single point yet. Every other team in MLS has at least 1 point. So everybody's got at least 1 tie, 1 draw, except for the San Jose Earthquakes and the New England Revolution. But this is not a New England Revolution podcast.
He just needs to sell, man. I mean, you're
This
talking
is
about
so
talking
bad.
about a revolution. I need a revelation.
Mhm.
Shout out to
Work.
Hamilton. Shout out to Hamilton.
Work.
No, man, like John Fisher needs to go. He's god awful. You know, I'm gonna take the Sam's mantle this week. So
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Man, I said 2 weeks ago, and this was off the podcast at the end, I wanted to dive more into the earthquakes because what's the pulse, right?
Mhm.
Last week I talked about how they brought it up and I commented onto it, and that got a piggyback situation. I'm not going to say I started a trend, but I am seeing a lot more that I've noticed in the subreddit for the earthquakes about John Fisher. Some guy tried to post about a curse, like baseball's got this curse for this team and blah blah blah, this curse, right? And they're like, oh, it was the earthquakes when this dude lost this, and everyone was like, no, it's John Fisher. Don't fucking change the narrative. It's John Fisher. The whole thing was John Fisher, John Fisher, John Fisher.
Yeah. Basically, since the Quakes came back in 2008, and he was, he's the owner at that point. Like him and Lou Wolf brought the team back after they relocated to Houston and then in 2005, I think.
Yep.
Something like that. So there was a couple years without the Quakes. The Quakes come back, and it's been John Fisher as the owner since. And the team has been dog shit basically the entire time, with the 2012 and 2013 seasons being an exception.
My new thing I'm gonna do this week, right? I'm gonna repost about how John Fisher put the San Jose Earthquakes as collateral damage in case he has to sell, basically, right? I want to put that on there and be like, hey, look, maybe you guys know about it, maybe you don't. Here's what your thoughts are. So I will get back to you next week, and I just want to see what they say about that situation.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get in there, and then we can report back.
Yeah, because if he treats your team like that, he definitely doesn't care about your team, because he definitely doesn't care about the A's.
Right, yeah. That's the team that he does allegedly care about. He does not give a single shit about you, Quakes fans.
Yep.
And I'm kind of a casual Quakes fan, but they are the team from here, and they are the team that I've been following for basically the entire time that they've existed.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have another soccer
team.
We don't have another soccer team. We don't have another hockey team that we could honestly, professional wise, root for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's another non-league note for soccer. The U.S. women's national team on Friday, they dropped to 4th in the FIFA rankings despite winning the W Gold Cup. And so basically the reason why they fell out of the top 3, it was because they lost the 2-0 loss to Mexico in the group stage. That kind of dropped them. And this is actually the lowest ranking in the history of the U.S. women's national team. They've never been lower than 2 before.
Can we give out one shout out on that, by the way?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a shout out to the. I saw this earlier. That's why I had to relook it up here. Solomon Islands. They jumped up 21 spots in the rankings. I'll tell you right now, I couldn't tell you on a map where Solomon Islands is, so I had to look them up. And
Pacific?
what's that?
They're in the Pacific.
Yes,
Yeah,
they're
the
in.
Pacific Ocean.
Yes. So they're Oceania by standards, but definitely
Right.
the Pacific. So it is a small group knit of islands, and they put a soccer team together that has jumped up 21 spots. The biggest jump.
Where are they at now?
I'll tell you right now. They've scored 78 points, right? Within this whole march here. So let me Solomon Islands FIFA ranking, right? I'll tell you right now. They are currently 130 or I'm sorry. They're currently 130th, 131st, right? They were 200th, the bottom of
Jesus.
the bottom.
Wow.
You couldn't get any lower.
Yeah, you win one game, I guess. There's one or two games, and that would help. Good for them.
Right, but you know
put it
what?
on the board, yeah.
Give it to you. You know what? You did something. You are the Jamaican bobsled team at this point. So congratulations. But to your point here,
Yeah.
America dropped down to 4th. Your top 3 above them, France being 3rd, England being 2nd, and Spain being 1st.
Yeah, it makes sense. Spain just won the World Cup.
Yep.
England was right there with them, and France is also a really good team as well. So it makes sense. I don't like they dropped down to 4th. I think they should still probably be above France. I think dropping them to 3rd would be fair. I think, but that's fine. That's it. I mean, we got the Olympics coming up, and that'll shake up the rankings very immediately as well. So
I agree.
We'll see with the new coaches coming in and everything. It's Emma Hayes is her name. I had it right there. My dad's telling us exactly where it is. He says Guadalcanal, northwest of Australia, on the opposite side of the Coral Sea. Thanks for that. So for those of you that have a map, there's where you look. Go to Australia, then head northwest. Okay. So that brings us to the end of our footy notes. So here we go to hockey. We have the Sharks this past week.
Nobody took any wins, and I like that.
There was not a win to be found at all the entire week. We knew this would happen. That's why we're not keeping track of record. We're just keeping track of overall points.
Hey, I was close until the 3rd period. I was close.
Yeah. So and then they melted down against Chicago as well, and those were back-to-back games because they were up 2-1 against Chicago. 2-0 actually, and then I saw Chicago get that first goal, and I was like, you know what, they were doing better when I wasn't watching. It's like flipped away, and it went to complete shit. My bad luck, just it's my bad luck. It's not that the team is terrible.
Yeah.
So right now they are 16 wins, 44 losses, 7 overtime losses. That is bad enough for dead last in the Pacific, dead last in the Western Conference, and dead last in the entire league. They are 4 points behind Chicago. If they got that win, they would be even.
Well, remember, they were tied with Chicago last week. It was a point differential. It's what separated them. So losing to the team that was point differential.
That's a 4-point swing, baby.
That guarantees you last place.
Yeah. So upcoming games this week: Tuesday at Nashville, Thursday at at home against Tampa Bay Lightning, and then Saturday at home against Chicago. I mean, Chicago's the easy pickings right there.
Yeah.
Because they're also a terrible team.
I'll let you go first.
You know what? It's a terrible idea, but I'm picking the Nashville game.
Well, hold on. Before you pick.
Yeah.
How many games we got left?
Not a lot.
like
16, 50, so 67. So you're looking at 15 games left.
15, right?
Yeah.
Do I take it now? Because I was leaning on Nashville too. So,
I'm giving you Chicago right now is what I'm doing.
I know.
Well, if you want Nashville, I'll take Chicago. So maybe you should just pick. Right. I'm going to pick whatever you.
Well, the reason being is because you're a half game behind me right now.
Exactly.
You're 7.5 wins. I'm at 8.
Yeah.
I want to make it fun.
No, so you pick. You pick first. Doesn't matter what I pick. neither of us think it's going to be Tampa. Let's put that in the air.
That's a
They're
fact.
not getting
That's a
the
fact.
W against Tampa.
That's a fact.
Nashville is a gettable game. Chicago is probably a little bit easier to get, but
The only thing that makes Nashville hard is that you're in Nashville. That's the only thing that
Exactly.
makes it hard.
yeah.
You know what? Because I want to make it interesting, and I'm a team friendly kind of guy. I'll go Nashville.
All right, fine. And then I will take Chicago. Okay.
But I will
Type-
tell you, if we're down to the last week, and you're a half game behind me still, right? I'm
You-
taking the opposite team of you because I want to make it fun. I want to make it.
All right.
I want it spicy,
Okay.
and I would hope that as a gentleman's bet, you would do the same.
Yeah, of course, of course. And there it is, your win of a win.
Woo!
Wow. All right. There's your music cue right there.
YouTube, don't take down our audio, please.
No, please, that's just me being nonsensical. That's not me copying.
They're like, you
anybody.
sound like Sammy Hagar.
Yeah. No, me just going. No. Oh, my voice is completely shot. Okay, so let's switch gears. There's one baseball note that we do have here, and this is actually like really pissing a lot of people off.
A lot of
especially
Giants
here.
fans are
A
really
lot of
mad.
livid
Yeah.
is the apt description here. Rennell Brooks Moon, who has been the PA announcer at now Oracle Park basically since its inception in 2000, they are mutually parting ways after 24 seasons. She's the first and only voice of Oracle Park, basically. There's, every now and then there's somebody backup comes in, but she's the main one. And she's also the first Black woman PA announcer in baseball, in MLB. So she's the first one to do it. And what I have here, Giants fans are not happy. They are outright pissed. This is actually the Azification of the Giants is what I'm seeing a lot of.
That's what I'm seeing.
There's a couple of ways this could have gone down. If the Giants said, hey, we think you're worth this much, and she says, I think I'm worth more, and they don't agree, that sucks and that's stupid. But what can you do at that point if they want to underpay Rennell? It's gonna kill the vibe basically in the entire park. Just like a lot of Giants fans have been talking about how much they enjoy, and she's been there for 25 years almost. She is the voice of the park. That's I've gone to a few Giants games in my life, and there's a tone and a quality to her. She's a Bay Area Radio Hall of Famer as well, by the way.
She used to do before she got full on with the Giants. She used to do some A stuff too, as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So she's Bay Area through and through. And I would say she was honestly I listened as a child because I grew up with mostly my mom. 98.1 Kiss FM.
Yeah, and she was the morning.
She was Rennell in the mornings. So I grew up with her. I mean, it didn't bother me. She became the Giants one. Shit, I get it. They paid
Job's
her.
a job.
Yeah,
and she loved that job, man.
Yeah.
By all accounts. So it could be that they didn't come to a number, and that's just plain stupid. The other option, I mean, they're being very nice and jovial and respectful to each other, and in the announcement afterwards. But I had a thought. It could be that what's his name? Charles Johnson, is that the name of the owner of the Giants? He is a vocal, big time MAGA dude. Funds a lot of bad hombres. Very public about it too. So it could be that she just the contract was up, and it would be and she just couldn't bring herself to work for him anymore unless they were gonna pay through the fucking moon to do it.
Hey, if that's the direction,
if that and if I don't know this for sure. Obviously, I don't.
Can I get that in Rennell's
This is me going conspiracy theory. Okay, you went conspiracy theory earlier. I'm doing it now. So it could. I mean, it might be that. I don't know for sure. Obviously.
Yeah.
But I hope it's whatever happens in the future. I'm sure she's gonna be just fine. I'm not really worried about Rennell. She's doing fine. She's gonna be okay. It's not the end.
I mean,
of the
Rennell's
world.
got to be close to the retirement age anyway of a normal,
Yeah.
blue collar working person anyway. So
Yeah. So I mean,
she'd be fine.
yeah, she's gonna be fine, and maybe in whoever they hire to replace her, maybe in 15, 20 years, you're gonna Giants fans will feel the same way about that person. When they go full Azification again and cut that person loose for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
on the surface.
she's Vin Scully, but she's iconic to the
Well, no,
Giants.
she's not the radio person though. She's like the
no,
PA
but I mean,
announcer.
like
Yeah,
as a stadium voice, like
Mhm.
she's iconic. Like you go to the game, you expect to hear Rennell announce
Yeah.
whoever's going up to hit. And, like
This
it's
first
iconic.
season is going to be jarring for anybody
Yeah.
who goes who's been to a Giants game before, and if they go to a Giants game this year, that is going to be like this is off.
Yeah.
Something's not right. Feels weird. Is there an earthquake happening? I don't know. Something's like shaky on the
I don't know. We
ground.
can bring that one up.
Okay.
We're due for the big one.
Yeah, no kidding. It's going to be on the Hayward fault too. The fault that I'm currently sitting right on. Like
I'm next to it, so sayonara.
I'm straddling that bad boy right now. Like
yeah, exactly.
One leg on either side. Okay.
From Giants and Rennell duking punches here. Bring this up, man, because I've been seeing more and more about it. And I am juiced about it.
Yeah. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are going to fight in Dallas at Jerry World, Arlington, on July 20th. The match is going to air on Netflix.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson put out a video of him starting to train, and there's actually like video of him from a while ago talking about how he's like basically scared of the guy that he has to become to get into the ring. And so I'm like, sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
Jake and Logan Paul, you sure you want to unleash this guy? Like this guy will eat your children. Excuse me, I said that wrong. He will eat your children.
Now Kith.
Now Kith. Yeah, exactly. God, there is.
Look, I would say this. Don King is one hell of a promoter.
Yeah.
And he was Mike Tyson's promoter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Mike Tyson is one hell of a promoter in his own right. Like,
yeah.
Jake Paul put up this weak video of not even him training, but like fake biting an ear off, right?
Yeah.
And before people come down my road, because I've already been hearing flat. Yes, Mike Tyson signed a contract. Yes, Jake Paul only fights washed up fighters, so it makes him look good, right? But a part of me thinks Mike Tyson is going to go, I see your contract negotiations, and I give you a giant fuck you. He is going to go into Mike Tyson mode and be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to let up on my punches. Forgot.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is posting video after video, right? And I'll say this. Some of the videos, they're sped up to look more aggressive than what they actually maybe are, right? But nonetheless, Mike Tyson's 60 years old. Like, I don't know many 60-year-olds that are moving at the rate that Mike Tyson's moving. I mean, even that last fight that Mike Tyson did, Mike Tyson was ready to fight. And I think it wasn't Holyfield. He fought someone else. But whoever he fought was out of shape, overweight, not ready for this. Mike Tyson took it seriously. And I think Mike Tyson has taken this seriously too. And he don't care who Jake Paul is. He
Jake Paul's Jake Paul's going to be wearing headgear, and his brother can tag in it at any point or something too, like to fight. This entire fight, obviously it's just like for the spectacle. It's just for, for everybody to make some money off of this. And it's going to work. It's going to fucking work because there is a huge amount of people that would love to see the Paul brothers just get their ass whooped, and to have Mike Tyson basically come out of retirement again to do this.
So is that the stipulation that both brothers can tag in and out?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to look into it a little bit more. Yeah. It's whack, but also like the Paul brothers are going to be wearing headgear as protection. Mike Tyson will not be. Mike doesn't want it anyway. He doesn't want it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not in the Olympics.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need headgear.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that the brothers could tag in like it was a WWE match.
Yeah, that's the vibes that I'm getting. It's gonna be real fucking weird. So it's basically a 2-on-1 fight. if you think about it. Just like one at a time fighting.
Well, Logan is the weaker of the two, so
Right.
I think if Logan gets tagged in, Mike gonna be salivating.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm intrigued. I will probably re-up my Netflix subscription just to watch that. I'll cut
I'm
back.
sure there's going to be an extra price on top of that. Maybe like we get together and like, host a fight night or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. It's in July, so we got plenty of time to figure that out before
Absolutely.
now and then.
Absolutely.
Anything else for the good of the order?
No, I think we made it to an hour. Thanks,
Yep.
Pops, for chiming in. Appreciate it as always.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and sign us off.
All right. So thank you for listening to the SVT Sports Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit that bell. Thank you for watching live. And you can get alerts for when we go live again next time. Follow us on Instagram and Threads at SVT Sports Pod. Slide into those DMs, baby. We would love to hear from y'all. All right. So good night and good luck.
See ya.